What's going on? Welcome to Chopping It Up with G and Z. I am G. It's my ace, my boom, my dude. Z, what's going on with you, brother?
Man, shoot, chilling, bro. It's been forever. So
We
definitely
are
happy to,
back.
bro. I'm telling you, happy to get on here, man, and talk about it. You know what I'm saying,
Man, it's been a minute, brother. What you been up to, man?
bro? Man, shoot, just working, trying to figure it out, man. Living life. You know what I'm saying. Just trying to make it, man. You talk to your son?
Yes.
I got your son a job.
Man,
Bam.
thank
Bada.
you.
Nah,
Thank you
no
so
problem,
much.
man. He did great, man, and he was they were very excited when I sent my little piece. They was like, we were already impressed by his interview and blah blah blah. So you saying that just added some on the top of it. So he did everything himself. So
That's good, man. That's good to hear. It's always a proud moment when you can hear your son has this great temperament and blah blah blah. And you're like, oh, hey, yeah.
yeah, man, and I think you know what I'm saying. Totally, you know what I'm saying. I work at a big box retailer, but I think sometimes dealing with customers, you have to have a different temperament. And I think Jared
Mm-hmm.
has a great temperament to be calm through some you know what I'm saying, some wild moments. So I think he'll be great. And we talked, you know what I'm saying, I sat down and talked to him. I called him actually yesterday. Um
Yeah, he
and
told
I
me, man.
yeah, and I didn't wanna, you know what I'm saying, spoil his good news. I wanted him to be able to tell you that. So I knew he had the job when I talked to you.
Yeah.
But
Oh, okay.
I wanted him to be able to tell you that. But
Yeah. No, he was pretty happy, man. So I was like, hey, I got the good feedback and I was very proud of that. So good deal, man.
man, yeah, I talked to him too, and I was like super, not even go further, but I was like, bro, I know me and you've had like multiple conversations, like Jared, what is he doing? What is he doing? And I was like, hey, bro, this is a good opportunity for you to while you figuring it out. Like they provide school free, so you could go to
Yeah.
school for free if you need to, or if this is something that you see yourself doing. I told him how much money I make, and he was like, I didn't know, and I was like, I didn't either. So I was like, if
Working on up.
being in the position I'm in is something that you want to do, what I'm gonna need you to do is just call me at least once a month. I'll sit down and talk about how you doing, how you feeling, the things you need to learn, and how to get you in that position. So
Yeah.
that's
Good
we'll
deal,
see how it
man.
goes,
Good
but I'm
deal.
very excited for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too, man. Me too. I'm ready to see, what I'm saying, easy in this next stage of life. And
Yeah,
we could talk more about the black folks in the work environment in a little bit because you know what I'm saying? The way things are going, man, and the new generation coming up. I feel sorry for them to be honest with you because, whew, yeah, it feels like it's rough out there.
it is. It's super rough out
So,
here, man.
man, for the average cat out here in these streets, man, it's rough out there. So,
Agreed.
bro, you ready to chop it up, man? Let's get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
this.
Let's
Let's get
do it.
into this, man. We've been gone for so long that the whole NBA season. Let's start off with some little sports talk here, man. The whole NBA season is kind of flashed right before us, and we're now like getting close to the playoffs, to the actual play. Well, I guess they don't even consider the play-in part of the playoffs, but still, to me,
Mm-hmm.
it's part of the playoffs.
Yeah,
Um, but dude, in the Western Conference, I have never seen anything like this before, dog. Like there is
agreed.
literally between, I want to say, 4 and 12 seeds, 4 and 12 are separated by like 2-3 games.
Yeah,
So all these, there's only like what 6 or 7 games left in the season,
7. I believe it's 7.
7 games left in the season, or 6 or 7, depending on the team.
Yeah, agreed.
But you literally every game is going to count for that seeding between 4 and 12. Some folks can get kicked off the play in and the
Yep.
playoffs altogether, i.e., Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
Some, what I'm saying, could jockey for a better position, i.e., Golden State, our Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many storylines going on out west, and there's no clear cut. Like, if I ask you what you think about the West, then who you think is like, what I'm saying, going to win the West, bro, you can have 12 different answers, and I'd be like, I, it wouldn't surprise me.
Agreed. Agreed.
Your
Definitely
thoughts
agreed.
on the West, man? So what are you following us in the Lakers in the Lake Show? I'm pretty sure you are, but like, man, the craziness of it.
Man, so like I was off work this week, so I watched more basketball than I probably have in a minute. But I always check the standings and everything. Like I seen where Portland lost 2 games in a row, and they were like missing so many starters. They were just like, we
You
good.
might shut Dame down.
We're just gonna shut Dame down. You know what I'm saying? So I actually saw this thing by Brian Windhorst, who I actually hate. Just throwing out there, I hate him. But I saw this thing where he said like LeBron, Steph Curry, and KD all rushed back from injury because they thought the West was so wide open. Yeah. And he was like, he said where he thought like the West was weak this year. So everybody, and I was like, I don't think the West is weak. I think it's so competitive. Yeah. And like if you look at the standings, like even the team that's number 1 in the West, they're not like won by like 10 games. You know what I'm saying? They're not yet. Like, bro, it's so close in the West right now. And I think that's a testament to how the West has always been. And I just think it's more competitive now. So like, and I think 1 through 10 in the West could probably win a championship this year, which is like crazy. But I definitely think with what you think Denver is the 1 seed. I don't
know about that one though.
But like, here's my thought. You think like Denver with a 1 seed,
yeah,
Memphis with a 2 seed, and Sacramento with a 3 seed, right? And then if you think Phoenix being 4 or 5, Golden State might be 6 or 7, and the Lakers might be 7 or 8. Do you really think the Lakers can't beat those teams? You think Golden State can't beat those teams?
Oh no. Yeah, no. Dude, to me, anywhere between the 1 through 8, once we get the playoffs and the play-ins are over, it's up for grabs, Holmes. Yeah. Because you got to think, man, Sacramento, this is a first. They ain't been there since what? You know what I'm saying? Vlade Divac
and Chris Webber. Yeah.
Chris Webber was playing. Like, this is the first time, which actually I'm kind of hyped to see. You know what I'm saying? How they actually deal with the newness of it and the team. You know what I'm saying? These cats have never been to play, never sniffed the playoffs. So that's going to be cool to see. Then you got Golden State, who for some odd reason can't win on the road, but when they're at home, they look like, you know what I'm saying, champs. And then you got us, where Bron, you know what I'm saying, Bron can't take over like he used to. So we're relying on AD. I love the pieces we got around him, but AD, some games he'll put up 8 shots, and some games like last night he'll go for 37. Which AD am I getting? I don't know. But I still like our cast of characters around, you know what I'm saying, our core group of folks. And then you got, you know what I'm saying, then you got Denver. Denver is that strange case to me, man. Like, I want to believe in them because I think Joker is like ridiculous. And then they got Murray back and Porter and all them cats. You know, they humping. They've been playing cool all year, but I don't see them as world beaters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't have trust and faith in them because, you know what I'm saying, the last couple of playoff times, it's been a first round, second round exit. And it ain't even been close. You know what I mean? Like, now granted, I think this is going to be the first year that Murray's going to really be at full strength. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, there's just so many different storylines out west where, yeah, like you said, man, 1 through 8, whenever the seedings get, you know what I'm saying, laid out, it could be anybody's race out there. Bro, I just don't feel like anybody coming out of the West can beat a Bucks, Sixers, Boston. If they play like they played tonight, yes. If they play like they played when they got beat by Houston, no. So, bro, I still think the East got a better teams.
Let me tell you this. I don't think there's a team. I'm gonna step back. The only team I think that you really can't compete with if they're playing the way they're supposed to play is the 76ers. I think if Embiid plays like Embiid is supposed to play, like the Embiid is like, I'm gonna give you like 35 and 15. Like if he plays like he's supposed to play, it's gonna be hard to beat them. And nobody really has nobody who can really defend him. That's what I think. I think Ayton might be all right with him. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I don't think nobody really has nobody who could defend him. Now, on the other end, though, I believe like the Lakers. I didn't even want to say just the Lakers because I'm a Lakers fan, obviously. But I believe every other team, like we talk about the top 8 teams in the West, I think they could beat the Bucks. I think they can beat Boston if Boston, you know what I'm saying, if Boston is all right. If Boston has a night where Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are both doing what they're supposed to do, I believe that's going to be hard. But they usually don't have the great nights together.
So my thing with the Boston Celtics, man, is one piece. If they got Robert Williams in there, if Time Lord is actually playing, and he's because he just got something's going on with that knee. I don't know. The brother just can only play so many minutes. I guess it's weird, but when he is full strength, dog, he actually can guard.
No, I mean, I agree.
The dude's defense is out of this world. Like, man, so to me, I don't think anybody can beat Boston if Time Lord is actually playing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's full strength playing 7-game series, he putting them defenses, they'll lock down defense on, and Tatum and Brown are actually doing their thing. And you get Horford and you know what I'm saying? They got Brunson coming off the bench, 6 man. I mean, they got a squad, dog. Milwaukee.
I'm not here to tell you they don't. I think Milwaukee's good too. I just think Milwaukee could be beat if you defend them the right way, if you don't be stubborn, and
if you box them one, yes.
Yeah, defend them the right way. I think also with Boston, you can like, hey, we can take away tonight. We're gonna double Tatum and
make everybody else do
Brown every time they get the ball and make everybody else do something, and you can live with that. But I think if Embiid go out, I honestly believe if Embiid go out every night and said he wanted 35, he could get it.
And dude, it's gonna be interesting if Harden. I mean, because Harden's a big piece on Philly.
Agreed.
I think Embiid's automatically going to give you 35 and something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even 40 and something in these playoffs.
Agreed.
But when I watch Harden play with him, man, like when they play together, like it's crazy. And sometimes Harden will give you those little old, you know what I'm saying, 2018 Harden vibes.
Yeah.
He'll be doing them step backs, but he don't have the blow anymore. Like the blow by is gone. But
I don't even think, man, he's so crafty with his handles. He don't really super need to blow by. My thing is like if Harden, I feel like he's settled into like wanting to get 20 assists every night.
Yeah, that's the
thing
about it.
And my thought is if he was more like, hey, I'm going to get 25 and 12 or 13 assists,
I think that would actually be
super. That would be terrible for because I think Maxey is hard.
No, Maxey is super hard, and it's kind of weird to me because I didn't think I'd agree with Doc Rivers bringing him off the bench, but it actually is.
You got to bring that punch in. You got to have that punch off the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, it's not a bad thing, man. And he been balling too. So, bro,
agreed.
This is gonna be this. I'm ready for these playoffs to start, man.
I'm gonna say this thing, and I don't want you to look at me crazy, but if they can figure out how to play Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and Russ look like he looked last night, that is also going to be a problem.
Yeah, but Paul George ain't coming back.
Is he out for the season?
Dude, yeah, that injury he had.
No, I thought he was. Yeah, I didn't know he was out for the season.
No, yeah, they said they were going to relook at it again in 2 weeks, which is the end of the season. They ain't saying coming back. They just said they're going to reevaluate. So, and did you see it?
No, I didn't. I just thought he wasn't playing. I feel look at it now though.
Yeah, ooh, it hyperextended pretty bad. Yeah, it hyperextended pretty bad. It took him a minute just to get up off the floor.
Jesus.
So, and just thinking about the injury he did have a long time ago. Ooh, Jesus. But yeah, you just saw it. Okay, yeah, man. So, that to me. Losing PG, I can't put the Clippers.
Please retract my last statement.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was hurt like that. I thought it was just a.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't no KD twisted ankle. This was like
that's what I thought. They was like a okay. Well, I definitely take that back.
Yeah, so now, man, I'm super ready for these playoffs, dog. I think this is gonna be one of the best. I mean, with the parity in the league right now and
Mm-hmm.
how some of these cats is coming up, like I don't think people really realize how good like these teams are, bro. Like I was watching the March Madness, and it's hard for me to get through because I'm not a fan of college basketball
Me
like that.
neither, bro. Me
Bro,
neither.
I was watching college basketball and I was like, man, the difference in talent between college and the pros. Woo, Lord, you know how people be talking about like the big thing, and even I used to say it, like, man, the defense ain't what it used to be. Blah 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 blah. And the defense ain't
Mm-hmm.
what it used to be, bro. These cats, you can't stop them. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it is dang near impossible to stay in front of some of these dudes, man.
And
And
I
the
feel
way
like
these teams,
when I watch college, it's like bunched in, nobody's free, like they struggling to get shots. I be like, oh, this is terrible.
it's that old school NBA post up, get a big,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Which is to me, I kind of like it sometimes. Like if you can get a flow with it and your big man is good and you got shooters and people who can actually space a little bit and make shots, then it's nice to watch. But in college, you don't have that. You may have one good shooter. You don't, your big man may just be this big
Big.
husky dude from, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Don't know how to really
Agreed.
ball. So he's just clustered down there trying to get rebounds and block shots. But in the NBA, man, you got dudes who are 6'10, you know what I'm saying? KD.
Bro,
Can take you off the
totally,
dribble and pull up and shoot over you. This is crazy.
man. My thought too is like I was just thinking about like you talking about college games compared to like the NBA. Man, Oklahoma City didn't play without the with the big dude this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bro, imagine when he come back. Like Oklahoma City did, you know what I'm saying? They've been competing. My thought
He
is
got a
if they
chance
get him
too.
and another draft pick,
Yeah, they
like
got a
bro,
chance to, bro, with Shea Gilders, they got a chance to actually hit these. Now, granted, they got a
bro,
hard schedule for the last 7 games, but
he hard. When I tell
yes,
you
bro,
he
Shea
is
is
hard,
like
he could get his shot versus any
anywhere. You know who he remind me of?
who.
He actually reminds me of Paul George a little bit, like old school, like Paul George.
Oh, when I used to go, Indiana Paul George.
Yeah, yeah, where he could just do. You was like, oh, okay, this dude is cold with it.
Yeah,
The bro, yeah, on the drive, got a nice little pull up. Range
bro,
is decent,
bro.
man.
He's bro. I done seen him like go up against everybody, and he gonna
And
get
get
his
them
30
buckets
regardless. It don't
and
matter
get
who
them
you put out
buckets.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. This is gonna be a real cool NBA playoffs coming up. So I'm all for it. I'm all here for it. Man, so speaking of sports, man, let's switch over to the NFL real quick, man. I just really wanted to bring this up with you, dog, because I text you about it. And the biggest story right now, but besides, you know what I'm saying, Aaron Rodgers, which I really don't even care about.
Me neither.
I'm I'm so sick of Aaron Rodgers, but the big story is Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson and what the Ravens are doing with him, and then also the fact that the Ravens actually put or offered him, you know what I'm saying, slap the tag on him, but then it's the tag that allows other teams to come in and offer Lamar what he wants, and the Ravens
Mm-hmm.
can either take it or trade him.
Yeah.
And Lamar's putting out the tweet saying, you know what I'm saying, I actually said I wanted to be traded. But then you got all these NFL owners coming out saying, well, we just don't think we gonna move into that idea of trying to get Lamar, blah, 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 blah. Bro, I have so many thoughts on this topic, man. But I'm gonna start with just asking you, bro, what do you think about what's going on with Lamar? I'm gonna say Lamar versus the NFL, not just
Ah,
Lamar versus the Ravens, because I feel like it's Lamar versus the NFL right now.
bro, I feel like like I hear people say it all the time, man, especially now, like the math ain't mathing, or you know what I'm saying, that thing is thangin'. Like I feel like the NFL is NFLing. Like this is what they do. Like the NFL, like you gonna give Patrick Mahomes the money, you give Jared Allen the money, you give but when it comes to this black dude, then we be like, I don't want to pay him that much. Like, bro, that's how free agency in football works. Somebody sets the market. It happens every year for every position. Somebody sets the market. Then the next person who comes on, he gets higher than the next person. And they continue to do that. That's what the NFL has always done. But here we go with Lamar Jackson. And then the Ravens are like, nah, we don't want to do that. And then everybody like, well, yeah, we don't want to do that either. But, you know what I'm saying? Y'all do it for everybody else. This man was an MVP. This man has more throwing touchdowns than Jared Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like when they show like his throwing and his passing, and it's like, so you mean to tell me all of these teams who have no quarterback at all don't want this man? So you mean to tell me San Francisco couldn't use Lamar Jackson? San Francisco almost, you know what I'm saying? San Francisco almost make the Super Bowl every year despite their quarterback. So you mean to tell me if they had a real good quarterback, they could make the Super Bowl and win one? And they don't want him at all. So to me, man, it almost feels like the Ravens done talked to everybody else and was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. So what's to draw the market back? So we're not paying people. We don't want to pay nobody else $50 million. Man, you mean this, bro, and I love Russell Wilson. You know it. Me and you fuss about Russell Wilson almost like once a week. But you mean to tell me you're going to give Russell Wilson $215 million in his 10th season and you're not going to give a 26-year-old MVP $260 million?
Is Lamar 26 or 25 or 24?
He just turned 26.
He just turned 26. Bro, he's still
he a baby, bro. So to me, man, me it smells like they went to other people and was like, this is what we're gonna do. And this and then my thought too is like it's almost humiliating. Like we're not gonna put you on the regular tag where it'd be like, hey, we're gonna pay you 45, and then nobody can say nothing. You just gotta play this the next 2 years. We're gonna put you on this lesser tag where we're gonna give you 30 million. And if somebody want to make an offer, they got to give us two first round draft picks. So like so now it feels like not only do we want you like here, we want you a little bit. But then nobody else wants you. It's almost like an abusive husband. Like after he beat his wife and being like, hey, ain't nobody else going to want you. That's almost what I feel like they're doing to him publicly.
Man, I agree with everything you just said. Well, except for one part. Like, I feel like I can't put race into this one just because the thing was set with Deshaun Watson. I mean, that's really where this is all set at. Because Deshaun got the guaranteed money. And that's all Lamar is looking for. Lamar is going to get him a nice contract, but what he was really looking for was to set the standard for what Deshaun Watson got set for, which is guaranteed money. And the NFL hates guaranteed money. They don't want to pay their players if they get hurt, or if you know what I'm saying. They hate guaranteed money. All other sports has guaranteed money. NBA, or the big three, I should say.
Yeah, because I don't think hockey has guaranteed
NBA,
money.
NFL is the only one that doesn't really. They just don't get paid the same way. But Lamar is trying to buck the trend, and another thing Lamar is doing is not getting an agent, which I don't like that with Lamar.
I definitely thought he needed to.
You know what I'm saying? The one thing, the one thing that I will say is, you know what I mean? Like Lamar, go get yourself an agent. You know what I mean? Don't put the negotiations out in public like via Twitter. You know what I mean? Like I understand he wants to buck everything that these owners are saying in public by going on Twitter and saying stuff on Twitter, but I feel like that's just don't do it. Because most people, man, when I say most people should be able to see that what these owners are saying. Like when they say, oh, well, it's kind of a gamble with Lamar Jackson because of his running style and blah, 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 blah. And he may get hurt and this and this. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, Joe Burrow, who, if you said Joe Burrow was going to come, he was hurt for a whole year. He had an ACL.
Bro.
Lamar's never had anything. He never had an ACL done. He's never missed a whole season. He's missed a few games. And last season, I wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying? I think that was part of the contract thing. Like, dude, I'm not going to be out here trying to risk my life and limb, and y'all ain't going to pay me. So, no, I got nicked up, which he probably would play through that if he was getting paid.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, miss me with all this old stupid stuff these owners be saying, man. I really feel like you said, the NFL is NFLing.
Yeah.
And they just, man, I and it kills me, dog, because I keep seeing all these folks and us like talking about how Lamar don't need to be making that anyway, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, don't be taking sides with these owners. I feel like the owners never get called and accounted for what they be doing and how much money they make. Like if they, what I'm saying, players' contracts are always on Front Street, on Blast Street, but nobody ever talks about here's what these owners are making, and they ain't even out there. They not the ones providing the product. You know what I'm saying? Like
at all, because I don't want to see Jerry
all.
Jones. I don't want to see, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see none of these owners do anything,
bro. And then on top of that, oh my God, dude, there's so much with the NFL, man. That I told you this, man. Like I love the NFL, but I hate the NFL. I love watching my Sunday NFL, man. But at the same time, I feel like these owners get away with so much. And the way it's all built, they get no accountability whatsoever. None. There's a report that came out talking about how these franchises, like, were forcing these players' families to even pay for their food at the facilities.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that. Like there was rat infestations in the Cincinnati Bengals stadium, and they didn't even want to get that fixed. Like, bro, you making all this money and y'all can't even get pest control. Like, it's just, dog, miss me with this whole, I will never back an owner versus a player, because the player is the one out there putting their stuff on the line, and y'all just need to pay them. Bro, $1 billion industry. Pay these people.
I think for me, man, the NFL is the only sport where we still never question the owners. Like, I believe in basketball, if you do something bad, we'll be like, that ain't cool. Like the Phoenix dude, like using the slurs and everything, or the Donald Sterling, like all of that. Like, nah, we ain't gonna allow that. But like, man, bro, Daniel Snyder has had like multiple like sexual, you know what I'm saying, things with like the treatment of women in a organization, mistreatment of players, misdiagnosing people. Like, it is like he did like almost 10 things for them to finally be like, hey, bro, like this ain't working.
It's enough.
Yeah. But he did like, it was multiple things. And then on top of that, he brought I want to say they said he paid like $800, maybe $1 billion for the Washington Redskins. He's gonna sell them for $6 billion, bro. So on top of him being a terrible person for years and having a terrible culture, and yeah, he gonna be forced out of the league to be bigger billionaire than he is right now. And I hate the NFL for it. I hate the NFL, like how they do players, but at the same time, it's hard for me to continually talk about the NFL when the players continually agree to these terrible labor contracts. Like, bro, when are y'all gonna dig in and be like, nah, man, I might miss this check this year, but for the next people to have better things, I'm gonna dig in and I'm gonna sit here and y'all gonna fix it right now. And the NFL players be so trying to get their little money that they set themselves up in this terrible thing. The franchise tag should not be a thing. Us being able to tag you after like 4 years on a rookie contract is stupid. You should be able to be like, hey, we're going to do 3 years for everybody in the draft. We have a 4th year team option if we want to pick it up. Anything after that, we have to renegotiate, or you could go and be a free agent. There is no way that you can do a tag. Man, you're doing a tag for 2 years. So say, for instance, like you're Lamar Jackson, right? You done got your contract. Now they done tagged you for 2 years. Now, what's the chances of you being 28 or 29 and then going and getting another big contract? Like, bro, they've hindered you from that. So to me, man, the NFL is so owner friendly, and until the players do something else about it, like I'm mad about it. But at the same time, I'm like, y'all got to do something about that. It's kind of like the UFC fighters, like, bro, like, hey, y'all are getting underpaid, but somebody got to be like, man, I'm not doing this no more until y'all pay me right.
Yeah, I mean, in Francis Ngannou? I mean, you know, he was trying to lead the charge, but unless somebody else is backing him big name, it's gonna be hard to do.
Bro, did you see what Jones got versus what's the name, Gase?
No, what was the pay on that one?
Jones got $3 million.
Oh, which is okay. Which, bro, seems like a lot of money, but at the same time, so I was watching this deal where the dude was talking about how the purse is split up when they get the purse.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come out and tell you what the fight purse is, like the fight purse say is $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that goes to the actual team. So the $3 million, you know what I'm saying? First, he was like, taxes come off of that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say taxes come off at like 40%. That means I'm getting I'm clearing 2.2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you know what I'm saying, 500,000 has to go to my manager. This amount has to go to my trainer. This amount has to go to, my team has to split up some of that. And he was like, by the time all that's all done, and then by the time I get all my he was like, by the time everything clears, out of that 3 million fight purse, I may walk away with 700,000. I was like, dog, that's
bro.
I mean,
But
don't get me wrong, 700,000 is nice. You know what I'm saying? I would love 700. I love to have 700K just, you know what I'm saying, for one night. Well, it's not really even one night work.
Because it's like 6 weeks to 8 weeks of a camp.
All that training and all that stuff. So I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. But at the same time, I never thought about it like that. When I think about a fight purse, I'm like, you getting 5 mil. So hey, come on. But out of that 5 mil, you only bring in 800,000 or less than that, depending on what you got to pay out. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Like,
but so like Jones though, with Jones, when you're a big name like Jones, you get a bonus based off how many pay-per-view buys they get, right?
Yeah.
But Gates didn't get that, so it don't matter how many buys get, he's not gonna get that. And
how much did he get?
500,000.
What? 500,000?
Same fight. We're in the same fight. You made $3 million. You made 6 times the amount of money I made.
Wow. No wonder why he went down as quick as he did. Like, man, I'll take this 500. Come choke me out real quick. I'll take this little 500.
I know. I think he seriously got caught, but
no, he did.
The thought is, man, like the UFC is so terrible in the way they pay people that man, like, but the UFC fighters and the NFL players, man, until they stand up and do something better, bro. This is the age of social media where you could get on Twitter and tell people how you feel about something. And if multiple people say, you know what I'm saying, if we band together and let's all say the same thing, you'll get people in your cause. Look at the WNBA girls, what they did with the owner who was terrible, and they all was like, we support Warnock, and then they all got hurt.
Yeah,
they all got hurt, kicked out the league, and got the dude she was running to get elected. You have power, but you have to use that power. You can't continue to keep on complaining about a system and keep on voting for it.
Man, well said, brother. Well said. Speaking of, you know what I'm saying, the system, let's break off for the NBA real quick, man, and move to a topic and something that you sent me, dog. And it's something that we kind of scratched the surface a little bit via text, but I want to get your full thoughts on it, man. So you sent me this article talking about a report almost 40% of Black Americans see themselves now as quiet quitters, which is a new phrase that's being used for people who are literally, you know what I'm saying, from what I understand, and you may know more than me, more about this than I do, man, or enlighten me on it. But this term quiet quitters is for people who are working these corporate jobs or working in these big companies, medium to large companies, who are literally not going above and beyond. You know, the old phrase of work hard, you know what I'm saying, get where you want to get in life. If you want that job, you got to work hard for it. And people putting in the extra hours at work and literally doing more than what the job entails. You know what I'm saying? Being a proud hard worker. But now we're moving into this era of, I'm going to do exactly what you pay me for. No more, no less, sometimes even less. You know what I'm saying? Am I reading it right into that, man, what that term is and what this article is you sent?
Yeah, man. So technically what it means is like, it's basically just what you said. I'm going to work and I don't have no aspirations of moving up. I'm not here to try to get no promotion. I'm just here doing what I need to do to maintain this check I'm getting and not to have to worry about anything else. So it's that's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? And,
So
and
why do
so,
you think it's such a huge number, especially among our people, dude?
man, I think that that old like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna work so hard that I'm gonna put myself in a better position, right?
Yeah.
And I think what's happening now is that so many people see like, doesn't matter what I do,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be in the same position I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of finding somebody who really like sees me for a regular person and believes in me, I
Yeah.
don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't think people feel like they could go to work and they'll be recognized. I don't think people can go to work and feel like their work ethic and as the effort they put in will get them that promotion that they want. And I
Oh
think so.
yeah.
What you have is people are like, man, like your people are like, I'm not gonna get promoted, no way. Or they're gonna promote who they want to promote anyway. So like, what's the sense of me continuing to go to work and play this game where people ain't gonna do anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's actually coming to you and being like, hey, Gerald, how can I put you in the next position? Or Gerald, when is the last time somebody at your job has came to you that was in a position of power and they came
Mm-hmm.
to you and was like, hey, bro, what's your next opportunity? What are you looking to do next? You know what I'm saying? And how can I help you get there? How many times have you had that conversation in the last year?
I mean, I've actually asked, what I'm saying, about different positions, but I've had no one actually try to come and like mentor me through the whole process of trying to move to a different spot or trying to move. It's a rat race. And most of the time, the other rats in the race don't want to see you get ahead of them. So nobody's really trying to like put you in a position to move up,
Yeah.
especially where I work at. Yeah. What's kind of crazy is it's insane because when you sent me this, man, I was talking to I'm the only black dude left in core technician at my job in my region or in my actual like district. There's one other cat and he works way out in like I forgot what the town was called. It's way out there. Uh but there was one other cat who was working in Tulsa with me. I talked to him. He actually did move up in the company. He moved to an engineering job. And I talked to him like 2 weeks ago. What was it? No, a couple of weeks ago, actually. And it's kind of crazy because when you sent me this, it reminded me of him. I don't want to put his name out there, but when I talked to him, I asked him like, how many times did you actually apply? He had been working at the company for I think he's on year like 18 or 19. He had put in, no doubt, this is what he told me. I because he asked me, he said, how many times you think I actually applied? And I said, man, I would say probably like 20, maybe. He said, man, I wish. He applied over 100 different jobs,
Shut up.
over 100, and only got like 3 interviews. I was like, bro, you
Yep.
had you did what? He said,
Yep.
yeah, man. Yeah. I applied like 100 different times for different, different jobs, but not, I'm saying he wasn't just putting his stuff out there for anyone. He said he was literally going down the line and was like, hey, this is a job I think I can do. This is a job I have my expertise in. This is a job that I can do and I'm qualified for. And he just could not get a job. And I was like, man, I would have been like, I'm out after 50,
Yeah.
after 25. Bro. So on top of that, man, I feel like, especially for black men, um, as far as us in the corporate world, I feel like it's anything else in this country. We got to prove, you know what I'm saying, 100 times over 100 times that we're better just to get the job.
Yeah.
And I think after a certain period of time, man, you just get tired of that. And then on top of that, like, when we were growing up, it was kind of instilled in us. Our parents always told us work hard, work hard, work hard, and then this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And we're coming to find out that we're working hard and that
And it still ain't
whatever's not
happening.
happening.
Yep.
So I think that's a lot of where this is coming from as well, where we're just like, man, this whole system is bucked against us. So I ain't gonna go above and beyond and be having my mental health all jacked up for this employee who don't care nothing about me to get nowhere. Like, why am I gonna spend 5 years, 10 years of my life grinding so hard where I don't see my kids, where I'm you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing all this. I
Mm-hmm.
come home and I'm just taxed You know what I'm saying? I don't have no energy for anything else but work, work, work.
Mm-hmm.
When all I am is a number to you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I get it.
Bro, there's a new documentary on Amazon Prime called Reggie about Reggie Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I don't know if you knew anything about Reggie Jackson or if that was somebody you followed or whatever. Um, we learned really early. One of my cousins, Nico, his dad and Reggie Jackson are like cousins. So
Oh
like
wow.
we saw Reggie Jackson, like early on, and just
Mm-hmm.
like seeing him and just knowing who he was, like we always was like we love Reggie Jackson. That's the reason I'm a Yankees fan. You know what I'm saying? And but I remember hearing reports about how he was mean, he was
Mm-hmm.
always cranky, he was so and so, so and so. And I remember that from being, you know what I'm saying, when I was younger. But like
Yeah.
looking at this documentary, man, it's crazy to understand how much of an understanding that he had that he was a black and like how black went into like everything that he did. And we're talking about somebody, he started playing Major League Baseball like in 68. And I'm right now at like 78, 79 in the store, and it's like 25 minutes left. And I want to say Reggie Jackson played baseball until like 85, 86, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my thought is though, he said his first All-Star game was Hank Aaron. Um
Oh
he was like
wow.
Hank Aaron, Will, like Billy Robinson, like it was like major people like were there in his first major league, and he was like he was so much fans of him. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But like one of the things that he kept talking about was like I had to do so much just to be able to be at the table. He was like these other players they could just do all right and they'd be okay, but being mean that I had to be black, I
Yeah.
had to do so much more just for them to know, you know what I'm saying, for them to mention me or for me to say, for me to he said he hit 1 year he led the Major League Baseball in home runs. But he said the owner came to him and said you led the league in strikeouts. So he actually reduced his salary,
Whoa.
bro.
What?
But
See?
it's stories like that. It's
Yeah.
stories like that I think people like. If I go and tell like somebody, they'll be like, "Hey, man, I work as hard as the person next to me, man, but I don't get an opportunity." And they're like, "Yeah, sure you do." But I think you have to go and see those stories where it's like, dang, Reggie Jackson, like they did Reggie Jackson like this. That's the same thing Z is talking about. You know what I'm saying? But people have to be able to go and see it for them to see it. But I know so many people that like when we were 10, 15 years ago, it's like, bro, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
just do this. I'm gonna go and do this, and I'm gonna get this position no matter what they do. And you knew it was racist. You knew it was racist at your company. You knew it was some kind of good old boy system. You knew you had to be better than everybody else just for you to be on the playing field, and you knew you were cool with that because you knew that's the way it was played. But
Yeah.
now people are not cool with that like they were before, and people are starting to see it don't matter what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm a still end up in the same spot. At my last job,
Mm-hmm.
we were applying for there was a manager position, right?
Yeah.
So I'm applying for this manager position. They were hiring three managers, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when we put the applications in, there end up being 10 people, right?
Yeah.
So when the 10 people did the interviews, there was there ended up being it ended up being like 5 people that made it to the second round. So when we got to the second round, there was a tie between me and another girl, right?
Yeah.
So they invited like so I have a director. They invited the regional director to an interview with me and her,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'd had a 1 hour interview with her, and the other lady had a 1 hour interview with her. After the 1 hour interview with the regional director, she gave us both feedback,
Mm-hmm.
right? She said my interview was better. And when she gave me my feedback, she said your interview, your style, the way you talk, the way you speak of leadership, you're so articulate, just the way you are. She was like, I can see you doing anything you want to do in this company. You know what I'm saying? And we had this conversation. She said, if you ever need some help, you call me. I'll take care of whatever I need for you. Bet. So now I moved to the next round. So it's 3 jobs. we have 4 people for the job, right? So since it's so many people, they're gonna do they're gonna do an interview with the vice president, right?
Yeah.
And then based on like if the vice president say like, hey, I think they're all good, you can make your you know what I'm saying, you can make the decision you want to, or like, hey, those 2 are terrible and those 2 are the ones I think should be in it. That's how they pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go and do an interview with the vice president of the company. It's supposed to be like a 45-minute interview.
Wow.
Our interview is 2 hours. You hear me?
Oh wow.
2-hour interview. This men's men are talking about fatherhood, basketball strategies. He used to be a point guard. I done asked him. You know how they ask him a question in the interview? They be like, "Hey, you have any questions for me, bro?"
Yeah.
I done asked him so many questions. He was like, "Bro, I have never had nobody ask me those kind of amazing questions on the feedback." So
Man,
he done talked for a
should've-
whole nother 30 minutes, right?
Mm.
So I have this amazing interview with him. So when it came to it, they was like, "Okay, so they all qualify. Y'all can pick who y'all want to."
Mhm.
Who didn't get picked?
You, of
Right?
course.
Of course. And then the crazy thing was the person who was doing the picking picked
Mhm.
his homeboy over me. And you know, and the thought was like, and after you do that so many times, you get to the point where you be like, bro, it don't matter what I do. I could go in
Yeah.
here and sing like Michael Jackson and tap dance, like, you know what I'm saying? If they want their homeboy, they still gonna pick him. And I think people are fed up with continuing to do that, man. What do they do? Like, how are they trying to help us? Nobody at my job is asking me about how to move up or how to be what I want to be. They just glad I'm here doing their job, doing whatever job they need me to do. So that's what I'm gonna
Not,
do. I'm gonna come to
yeah.
work, do what I gotta do, and then I'm going home.
Yeah, but I also think on the scale, you know what I'm saying? Like, because man, you can always we got individual stories. You know what I'm saying? So like we can always point to our individual stories and say, yeah, I can definitely understand this. But if I wanted to take a 40,000 foot view of it all and be like, this is why so many people are doing it, and so many of our people as well too, you know, I would throw in statistics like so. One thing I do know, it's kind of crazy because man, there was somebody asked a question on social media the other day on Facebook. I saw it, and they was like, "Hey, how much was your apartment rent when you were growing up 20
I
years
saw
ago?"
that. Yep, I saw that.
And I was thinking, and I was like, "Man, first apartment, it was like $400 a month. It was cheap,
Man.
heap, bro." Um, but now, you know what I'm saying? An apartment gonna run you 1,500, 1,600 for the same apartment.
Bro.
That's literally a 4-time increase over the course of 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Our wages.
We've had this conversation though. Yes.
Bro, ain't nobody paying you any more than what they was paying you, you know what I'm saying, 10, 15 years ago. Dude, it used to be $40,000. Hey, I can get an apartment, I can pay for a car. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you really wanted out of life, you could literally get a little $30,000, $40,000 job, have yourself a place to stay, have, you know what I'm saying, have your bases covered for you good. You may not be where you want, you know what I'm saying, economically. You may not be ballerific, but you still, you know what I'm saying, you still cool. Fast forward 10, 15 years later, bro, they want you to work more for less and then pay out these exorbitant high prices.
Yeah.
And people are just like, man, people are just fed up, bro. Fed up with
Bro.
this system. The system itself is just so stacked for rich folk to get richer and for poor folk to get poor and for middle class folk to get poor. Nobody's coming out on the other end. It's the class division, man, is ridiculous. It's just getting further and further up there. And I think the more you see that also, the more this quiet quitting is going to take place.
Bro.
Like productivity has gone up, pay has not. But all these, you know what I'm saying, all these corporations, companies, and rich folks have gotten exorbitantly more rich than what they already have.
Yeah.
So people are like, man, why am I gonna bust my butt just to make you rich and I'm just making the same? It doesn't make any sense. So,
bro,
that's
let me
my
tell you
thought
this.
process on it, man.
Let's think about this. When we were coming up, man, you could go and get you a good house for $90,000. man, you might do something stupid for 120. You know what I'm saying? Right? Man, your parents, if they were going to buy like a brand new car, they was gonna spend like 20. If you was gonna get something like super crazy, you might spend 25, 30, right?
Please, the cars they were getting was like 12 grand.
But
12 grand.
I'm just thinking like my thought, like when I first started driving, I remember my dad when he got a
Cadillac.
no,
Relax.
first of all, watch what you do with my dad. Watch what
Relax,
you say
baby.
about my dad. My dad when he got a Honda Accord. I remember he when he got a Honda Accord in like 1995. Like it was like, man, 4-door green Accord, gold trim, you know what I'm saying? Rims, everything was like 22, right?
Yeah.
Man, when you tell me right now the average house cost is like $215. You tell me the average amount for a new car is $45, right? Ain't no wages increased. You know what I'm saying? Taxes is worse. Like how am I supposed to do that? You tell me, how am I supposed to buy a new car, buy a new house, and without selling drugs or robbing somebody?
I mean, you can always be a social media influencer.
Man, that's bro. Why you think so many people try to do this? Because that's the only, and it's not even like saying it's an easy way. Man, that might be the only way. It's like social media influencers is just like NBA right now or NFL. Like that's my way out.
Crazy.
That's my way out.
This is my ticket, baby. Let's go.
Yes.
Hey man, so speaking of system, bro, let's get into some trending topics real quick. This been going down. And so we are recording this literally, what's today? March 30th. Oh man, March 30th, 2023. And I guess this is actually history. I just saw it pop on my little thing. So some history just happened. Ex-president has now been indicted. I guess this is business. Okay. So he's been indicted on business crimes. This comes back to the whole Stormy Daniels hush money payments or whatever that came from his campaign. And then I think they're probably going to have some other charges in there based on his Trump corporations or whatever, and the shady business tactics he's been using. Which, so the crazy thing is, man, just like I don't think anybody is like surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still feel like this is a year too late. I feel like the wheels of justice turn extremely fast if you poor and you black, but they turn really slow if you rich and connected. And Agreed. This is just basically, you know what I'm saying, confirming exactly. You always hear these people on TV talking about, well, you know what I'm saying, no one is above the law. And I'm like, yes, they are. What country you living in, bro?
Agreed.
In this country, there are people who are absolutely above the law. There are companies that are too big to fail. Just like
Walmart.
You know what I'm saying?
Walmart.
Some of these banks are too big to actually fail. If the bank fail, the whole systems fail. So of course, they're going to actually cover them. And it's the same thing when it comes to these rich and powerful people. They are too big. They are above the law. That's just the way it is. Everybody know. I mean, most people actually know it. They it's just one of those things that I guess they don't like to say out in public, or like to keep the moniker going. They got to somehow keep a legal system that's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, unfazed and untouched. But you know what I mean? Like, bro, I didn't expect him to get indicted on this one. I thought he was going to get indicted for that whole January 6th stuff, but I don't know. Who knows, bro? But this is major. So it's something big in history, man. You got any thoughts on it, dog? What do you think about all this?
Man, I honestly I think I texted to you earlier, man. Like I feel like this is somebody who's been dirty for years. Like even if you watch the USFL thing, you know what I'm saying? Like he was doing shady business back when the USFL went under. You know what I'm saying? And so like my thought is like this is somebody who's probably been doing shady business for years and then got full of himself and was like, you know what? I'm gonna be the president. Yeah, and so he ran for president. And the thought is too though, like, bro, you're terrible. And so like he went out there and he I I know we talk about it all the time. He effed around and found out. Like that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, if you don't want to find out,
you don't run for president where people are going to start looking at everything that you do.
What that old white do? So this is the graph.
yes.
Okay.
I saw
If
that.
you
I saw
if
that.
you don't
So
want to find
the
out,
higher you go,
you don't want to fuck around.
The more you F around, the more
so.
you're going to find out.
Yeah. So here's Tommy at a 5. He keeps effing around. Well, eventually he's gonna find out. I mean, I don't know,
Agreed.
man. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, man. And I think I text this to you, like, bro, everything that's going on with him and hit the reactions to him further solidify in my brain just how crazy and divided this country is. Because I guarantee you, if Obama did half of the stuff that Trump did, that man would be under the jail right now, and nobody would bat an eye.
Definitely agreed.
Yeah, he would have been labeled a crazy Negro for paying off. Just think if Obama had paid off, you know what I'm saying, Black Diamond.
Man,
to not go and tell a story about, you know what I'm saying, the stuff that was going on. Boy, we would be tripping because we would be talking crazy like Obama. You know what I'm saying? I see you, boy. No. But I mean, yeah, man, this dude been doing some crazy stuff, man. The other trending topic, man, that's going on, and this is a somber one. This is kind of a sad deal, man, but I really wanted to get your opinion on it. Is the Nashville school shooting? There's another school shooting that happened in this country. And bro, I think I read somewhere where this is like number 100 and something for the year. And we're just in we're in March. Like, okay, bro, what? I don't. What would you do? Number one, and number two, what do you think about the whole gun debate?
I think it's foolish at this point for us to even, like, my thought is like, there's so many school shootings happening day after day, same story, and we know Republicans are so about this, their gun laws, that at what point do we be like, they don't care about our children? Is the right to bear arms more important than saving children's lives? And that's what it comes down to. So my thought is like, did you see that they had one of the like a Republican senator from Tennessee, and they asked him about the school shootings, and he was like, well, there's nothing we could do to stop it. And it was like, so how do you protect your daughter? He was like, I homeschool my daughter.
Wow. He said that?
But bro, Republicans do stuff like this. At this point, man, with Republicans doing what they're doing, and this girl, Marjorie, the lady, the crazy lady from Georgia, with them continue to do what they do, and they say what they say. Now they're going to you seen them go to the jail last week to visit the people from January 6th, make sure they were living in right conditions. Did you see that?
Oh man,
these freedom fighters. That's what we're calling them now. We're calling them freedom fighters. And so the thought is, man, they're doing so much stuff that, man, like, until, like, I don't even think it should be like we always be like Democrats or Republican. Like, I think at some point we have to do like, hey, let's just do right and wrong. January 6th was wrong. Racism is wrong. Like, there's no way that you could sugarcoat it. Like, so either you believe in racism or you believe, you know what I'm saying, or you don't. But I think Republicans keep on this woke word. You should just say it. You should say the N word.
God.
Anytime you say woke is like the new thug, but it's just a racially coded word for the N word. So anytime I hear somebody like at my job and like, you know, y'all are so woke, I'd be like, what do you mean woke? That's a racially coded word. So do you want to say the N word, or do you want to say them or those people? Because that's what woke means. When I say it, woke was not the original meaning of woke. Does not mean what y'all saying. That doesn't mean that at all. So every time that you say woke, you're using it in the wrong context. You're not using it how it's implied, and you're pretty much saying like N word, like every time.
Bro, I swear to God, I swear, if I heard one more person say the woke this and the woke this and the woke this, knowing good and well they just coding that for something completely separate. Like the Florida people banning books, saying it's woke
bro,
agenda.
bro.
What's the woke agenda? Oh well, the there's only two things that they hate: black folks and gay folks.
Yeah,
If it has anything to do with black folks, just basically telling them the history, just basically giving a history lesson. And to them, it's like, oh well, America our only sin was slavery. It's like
yeah,
where there was slavery, and then Martin Luther King freed everybody, and then
yeah.
now we good.
And everybody's good now.
It's like this. That's the history that they want to like teach their kids. It's like, oh, there was slavery, and it wasn't as bad as you think it was. It was just, oh, it was just okay. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
gave them living conditions, and they weren't paid, but we gave them food and shelter and blah 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 blah. And oh, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, our hearts reached out, and we basically said, free everybody. And then Martin Luther King, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like they want to leave out all the intricacies, all of the systemic racism that continues to this day, the Jim Crow that actually spilled its way over after the Reconstruction. They don't want to talk about any of that stuff. They don't want to talk about how slavery continued to this day with the judicial system and how it's tied up in incarcerating black men and black women. They don't want to talk about any of that stuff. The free labor that goes on in that whole industry itself, that stuff gets pushed to the side. And anytime it gets talked about, they use the word woke to try to explain it.
Yeah,
it's crazy. They don't want to talk about how much they hate gay people, because as soon as you say anything about gay people, that's woke.
Yep.
It may be, and it's so crazy to me, man, because it's these states like Oklahoma, Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, all these southern states where, you know what I'm saying, there's like crime is ridiculous.
Drug use is ridiculous.
Where drug use is off the chains.
Education is terrible.
Education is like the bottom third. Or here in like Oklahoma, we're number 49 out of 50. Instead of talking about how we gonna actually educate these kids, they will make a bill and pass a bill because one little kid who was actually gay tried to play basketball.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So this little transgender kid wanted to play basketball. I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't really care. Honestly, I don't. I'm probably never gonna watch 300-meter swimming, whatever this transitional person wants to do. I'm probably never gonna watch it ever. They will probably never make the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna watch this. But you have enough when it comes to guns. You can't even present a bill on the floor. But when it comes to this one little kid, this one little transgender kid wanted to, you know what I'm saying, swim 300 meters, you got to make an entire bill for it.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Bro, there's still no anti-lynching bill.
No. Oh my
there's
God.
no anti-lynching
it's still
bill.
on the books in North Carolina. It's oh Lord Jesus, what are we doing here? I don't know, bro. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, no, man, it's insane, man. It's insane. I don't know how we can actually. I honestly don't know how we're going to be able to get these school shootings under control unless we get the gun problem under control.
Yeah,
because
there's no way.
Every time I hear arguments on this, I come back to just one thing, like
gun control.
So apparently America is like number one in one thing, and that's guns per capita. Like there are more guns in this country
than
I think probably the entire world put together.
I can see that.
Like for real. And we're talking as two people who actually own guns. We own guns, people. So if you listen to this podcast, you're not talking to some little, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they would call them, like gun haters or whatever. We actually own guns. I own, you know what I'm saying? We own multiple guns here, and I think you got two at your crib. So,
bro, we got my wife own a gun. I got two guns. Your wife got a gun. You got like three guns. So it ain't like we But like my thought is, dude, do you need to have 20?
Not only that, bro, but why do you need? I don't need an AR-15 that fires out a round that's gonna take off half your body.
Bro, every time I tell you that I want an AR-15, what's the reason I give you? Just because they have them. I know there's no need for
No.
me to have one, but I bet
Yeah.
you my next door neighbor, both the next door neighbors, I bet you they both have them.
Yeah, I know your next door neighbor got one.
Yeah, he build guns. I need to ask him how much he'll charge me to build one. But like, bro, the thought is I don't want those kind of guns. I'm just like, man, if it pop off, everybody they gonna have them. So I need to have one too.
So it's kind of crazy, man, because before I even thought about politics, and you know what I'm saying, apparently there was an assault weapons ban. And I kind of do remember it now growing up, like, you know what I'm saying, you couldn't just out here carrying Uzis, and now
they stopped it when all these black boys had Uzis.
Mm-hmm.
But now since that ain't the thing no more, now we have these hunting rifles and now these hunting rifles.
Yeah, you ain't gonna hunt with no dang AR, man.
Bro.
I'm gonna hunt this deer with this AR. When I bring
what
it back,
eat?
half
what
the body gonna be gone.
Like you don't kill, like it ain't even, bro.
I'm about to tear this boy in half with this bazooka. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, bro, get into something. You got anything you wanted to bring on that, man? Because I'm about to transition to something cool for both of us.
Nah, man, you good, bro. You good.
All right, man, bro. Music. I see you with the new setup. Z with the new chopping it up setup. You got Mike behind you. You got Marley behind you. Man, what's in your rotation these days, bro?
Bro, I got me too.
Swear,
you see me?
I feel like I feel like, man, I've been on the downslide with my music game, man. I had to go out and start looking and finding some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know what I'm saying? It's harder these days, man. We don't have BET 106th and Park. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't have that stuff anymore where, you know what I'm saying, the music was just blasted out there for you. Now you got to go searching for some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the artist, man, I'm just not a fan of most of the new artists these days.
Man, agreed. Definitely
but
agreed.
I will tell you, bro, this new crop of like R&B / I'm starting to dig some of their stuff. Like, oh, okay, I can get it. I can dig it. But yeah, what's in your rotation, man?
Man, so me and my wife, long story short, me and my wife watched a show called Family or Fiance, where like these two people be like, hey, we supposed to get married, but their family disagree with it. So they go to like this resort for 3 days and they air out all their grievances and they try to figure it out. And then at the end of the show, they be like, hey, we give you our blessings or we don't give you our blessings. And then they let us know what happens with the couple. This is a show that we watch. I think it's like 3 seasons. We watch it like all the time. Well, so the lady who's the psychiatrist or the relationship lady, she actually wrote a show that's on Hulu called Unprisoned. And it's like with Kerry Washington and Delroy Lindo.
Oh,
LeBron's daddy.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call him, LeBron's daddy.
This show look like
he looks just like LeBron every time I see him. I'm like, you're gonna love LeBron, y'all. But so they did this show, and they did a show on Hulu called Unprisoned. It's like a comedy kind of, but it's like based off of her experience, and she's a psychiatrist. Bro, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis did the music on the show.
Oh, stop it.
They were like the musical directors.
Okay.
Bro, like so there was like I watched the show with my Shazam out. Like, what is that? And what is this song? And my wife was like, bro, if you just go on the Spotify, they have a playlist for it. You don't have to keep on Shazam and everything. So I've been listening to a lot of the music from that show. I feel like right now that's probably where I hear new music. If I'm watching BMF and I hear something, I'm like, oh, what's that? Or I'm watching like a show, I'll listen to that. Outside of that, man, I'm still like, when it comes to new R&B, man, like Jasmine Sullivan, you know what I'm saying? We listen to a lot of Babyface did an album called Ladies Night. with like where Babyface wrote an album for a lot of the new like your girl,
new
the
up and
Pressure
coming artists.
Girl, Ari Lennox, and like them, and the album was pretty good. So we've been listening to that. But outside of that, man, I'm still, bro. I listen to Anita Baker more than I listen to you know what I'm saying, Jasmine Sullivan. I still listen to what I like. It's just I think right now it's easier for you to get your music out. And I think if you figure it out, like you could
It's
actually
harder to
do well
market
with
it
your
though.
music. But I think it's so much music out that it kind of gets overwhelming, and you like, bro, I'm gonna just go to what I like. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you the last time I've been like, oh my God, so and so coming out with a new album next week, or you know what I'm saying? I'm still hearing like these SZA songs, these new SZA songs, bro. Or
is it SZA or SZA?
it's SZA.
Okay,
It's
well, that's how
SZA.
you just
So
say it, SZA. Okay.
yeah, SZA's like her new album, man. Like every time I hear a song off it, I'm like, oh, that's really good. But I really don't outside of which is crazy to me too. Is like Beyonce's last album. Like I heard like 2 songs and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I think that's the last album that I probably listened to all the way through.
Did you like that? I mean, I'm not really a Beyonce person, so
Beyonce's cool to me, man. But you know what I'm saying? Like in some weird way, please forgive me. I used to like you know, like the 90s dance music, like the Show Me Love by Robin S. and the D, like the Power, and like I got the power.
What do they call it though, man? I forgot what they called it. It's
like electronic music or not? No,
no,
house music.
no. There's a term for it. No, there's a term for it. I forgot what it was called, but like I heard her old album. It was like the Drake album. Remember when Drake had that album? And it was
like electronic. They call it like electronic music now, or like or dance or electronic
house beat or something. I don't know.
But yeah, so I used to like that old like CC Peniston. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like, and I'll be fair with you. I feel like a lot of like that was like black, like gay, lesbian, like LG, like that kind of music in the 90s when we were coming up, like the Robin S, the Finally, and the Buffalo Trance and all that stuff was like music that they did like Vogue and you know what I'm saying, like the drag queens and stuff like that. So I don't think a lot of people got into it, but I always liked it. You know what I'm saying? So her album reminded me of that kind of music, and that's why I probably listen to it more.
Oh, okay, got you. Hey, so thing about it is, man, like so on my man, my playlist is all chopped up, bro. So I still got my old schools mixed in on there. Like I still got some of the old Anita Baker, Sade, you know what I'm saying, like Jodeci's and the Drew Hills, and you know what I'm saying. I'll still pop in some of that, and then I'll still pop in some of my old school hip hop, which I've been actually on a Notorious for like the last week or so, bro. I popped in. I went ahead and just listened straight through his, what was it, the first album. No, the Ready to Die album, excuse me.
Ready to Die album, like the double disc is, bro, that's one of the best hip hop albums ever, bro.
I after listening to it back to back, man, again, and like I can't remember the last time I actually just put it on play and just let it play all the way through. Because it used to be, man, I would just hit me and my, that was always one of my dopest ones. Ready to Die was always one of my dopest ones. You know what I'm saying? So I actually just listened to the whole thing straight through, and I'm gonna put it on par with All Eyes on Me, man. I feel like that one is basically pretty much this, if not better than All Eyes on Me. And I know it, to me, it comes down to personal between, because you know some folks just like straight up Biggie only, and some folks are just like Pac only, whatever the case is. But if you look at just the music wise, like those 2 albums are on par to me, man. And you could just, depending on the day, go up, down, whatever the case is. But that album is classic.
No,
I also been bumping the new Nas more or less. I still can get past that 30 song, man. That's still the way it come in. That's still my joint. I know you don't get down like that with Nas.
I've actually listened to all of Nas.
What'd you think about that album?
Man, I got stuck on the 5 Heartbeat song.
Oh, see, that's another one. Yeah. The one.
Bro, I was like, I've never heard nobody use a sample like that. I was like,
the way
amazing.
you used that, that sample was dope. That sample was dope, man. But that 30 song, the way it comes in, 30 for 30, and that I'll be like, oh, go ahead. There. So that's still my joint right there, man. I still got that on my playlist. I still got some um Rick Ross.
Always.
One
I
I'm
know
trying
you
to
always like
actually,
Rick Ross too, yeah.
yeah, well, not some of his new stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like I still got some of his old stuff on there. Hey, man, so the new R&B though, I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, the girl, man, I had heard some of her stuff, but I've been meaning to check it out, man.
So if you go in, her name is uh I don't know if I'm saying this right. I'm already gonna
Yeah.
be butchering this, but Kali Uchis.
I was like, I'm
Kali
not gonna say
Uchis.
her name at all.
I'm probably butchering the crap out of that. But that album she got out, man, I went ahead and just hit play. And usually if I hit play on somebody, man, after the first like 2 or 3 songs, I'm like, okay, no, I'm cool.
Yeah.
No, on this one, I actually listened to the whole thing. It was actually hit after hit. I was like, oh, this is actually not half bad.
I ain't mad at
And
that.
I only found it because, you know what I'm saying, I follow this group for R&B, and this dude was in there like raving about it, man. Check this out. Check this out. I'm telling you, it's dope. It's dope. It's dope. I went ahead and played it, and I was like, okay, yeah. So I sent that over, man. It's just little tidbits, man, I might find here and there that I'll pop up into the playlist, man, and go from there. But it's hard to find dope new music these days, man.
Bro.
Especially on, and to me, it's especially harder on hip hop.
Yeah.
So when it comes to rap music, man, like even I don't know, bro. I don't like the mumble rap.
Me neither.
I don't like it, but I feel like everybody is doing it so much now.
Yeah.
So it's whenever you do get like a J. Cole, it to me that's what hypes it up even more.
Yeah, bro. J. Cole is. I was listening to, man, my wife was playing something, man, bro. I was listening to some J. Cole, and I was like, bro, this dude is really hard. I
Just
still don't think
fucking
he's better than
dope.
Kendrick. I still don't, man. And I had this weird thought the other day. I feel like J. Cole is a terrible producer. I ain't gonna say terrible. He don't produce like I like. But I feel like if Kendrick Lamar could have somebody produce music that he liked, it would be J. Cole. Like I feel like the beats that, like when I hear he make a beat, I'm like Kendrick would love that beat. Like that's my thought. But here's, and I also had this thought just while you were talking. You know who Rick Ross is? He's Luther Vandross.
You just have every gold album out there.
No, let me tell you though. Like I think if we talk about great singers, like somebody will mention Luther and you'd be like, oh yeah, Luther is great. But Luther is never going to be the first name you think of. You're going to always think of Teddy Pendergrass or Al Green or Sam Cooke, Donny Hathaway, Marvin Gaye. You're going to always think about the thing Luther didn't have. To me, I don't think Luther had anything that was like stand outish about him. I think he was a 9 on everything. He was just like a total 9 about everything. And like maybe you like talking to him, maybe you didn't, but he didn't have like this super. He didn't have that Prince thing where it was like he's weird and we want to know what he's talking about, or he didn't have a Michael Jackson thing where you just felt like you wanted to hear him talk. You know what I'm saying? Like if Luther, if there was Michael Jackson, Luther, and Prince, you talk to both of them before you talk to him, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Rick Ross is the same. I feel like I'm never gonna pick Jay-Z or Nas above Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm never gonna pick so and so, but he's consistently solid. He's good.
I'm never gonna pick Rick Ross above them.
Yeah,
like I'm never gonna pick Rick Ross above them,
dude.
But yeah, he got some he got some bangers, man.
I
have a different perspective on Rick Ross. I feel like Rick Ross is a decent rapper.
Do you think he's decent?
I think he's decent. I don't think he's like over the top. I wouldn't even give him a nod. Now there are some verses that I'm like, that was amazing. Like the remix for She Will. I think that's one of Rick Ross's best verses ever. That's one of the best verses ever on a song, period, to me. I look, when she looked back, I tossed a band on it. Bro, that whole verse to me was super dope. But at the same time, like when I hear a whole album from Rick Ross, I'm like, he's, you know what I'm saying? I might give him like a 6, 7 sometimes, maybe 8 here and there. but his production value is insane. I feel like if J. Cole could take Rick Ross's production, J. Cole may be the best. We may be talking about J. Cole and one of the best rappers of all time. Like that's how I feel like if you could take that production value that Rick, whoever he's doing, he's paying somebody nicely for his beats. And those beats are amazing.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, man, but I think everybody underestimates. I think he's a rapping dude, and my thought is like he's such a rapping dude. He's the only one of the he's one of the handful of people that anytime he asks Jay-Z, Nas,
They
Andre
will actually show
3000
up.
for a verse, they show up. A
Yeah,
lot of people can't do that, and I don't think people really understand how great he is. To me, I just
yeah,
think people get caught up in the backstory, and then they're like, well, he always talking about this drug stuff or whatever. But I think if you just specifically look at the way he writes his rhyme ups, like rhyme schemes, like that, like purely as just rapping wise, he's an
yeah.
amazing rapper, man. And that's before we talk about the beats. I'm in like flow, delivery, like bro.
I don't know, man. You got me wanting to get into some studio time, and we need to get back into making some music again.
Bro, I actually looked on my you know how you get your recap, your winter recap on Google Music?
Yeah, yeah.
My winter recap was all my songs.
Was you rocking out?
Bro, I've been listening to me like a lot lately, man. And that's like, and it's not listening to me like, bro, you know what? I want to get back in the studio and make an album. I just listen to be like, bro, I actually like myself. You know what I'm saying? And like
I
the
made
thought,
something.
yeah, and the thought, like, you know what I'm saying? I took a chance, and like even if it didn't pan out, man, like I saw something I wanted to do and I really went and did it. And I
Yeah,
think looking at as a 40-year-old man, I look back and be like, I didn't have no regrets about what I did with music.
man. I do too. At the same time, I feel like, and I will always say this. I feel like Oklahoma had so much talent that we could have been on the map. We just didn't have anybody actually steering us and financing it here.
Yeah.
I feel like Atlanta, when Outkast, Goody Mob, all that was out there, we had talent. You know what I'm saying? It's just there was no outlet for the talent here in Oklahoma. You had to go somewhere to try to get it, either Texas, you know what I'm saying, Memphis, Swap House, all that. You know what I'm saying? You had to go and find, you know what I'm saying, backing for it in those other cities or whatever. But when it came to talent, man, I really feel like there was a lot of talent here in our little old town. You
Dude,
know what I mean?
man, I tell people all the time, man, like my favorite rapper from here all the time was gonna be Michael Mack. I thought Michael Mack was amazing. But then I mean like Eric Smallwood was always amazing to me.
Man,
You know what I'm
Smallwood could
saying?
actually
Like,
flow.
dude, yeah, man, we were man, I be listening to random music and I was listening to something and Lika was like, man, that is a nice song. She was like, who is that? And I was like, that's Tony. And she was like, Tony, your friend Tony? And I'm like, bro, yeah, that's Tony. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Yeah, man, there was, and then if you think about all too, if we take like Shantae Sims, DeMarco Morgan, like
bro, we had people that could
Faith, all them
riff,
man, all them McQuarters girls,
man, could
man, like
hold
Robin
notes.
Flemings. You remember Robin Flemings and Amber Wade and Keisha? Like, bro, there were so many people that I know who not are like decent. There
I'm
were so
talking
many
like,
people I knew who could sing, and then rapping and like, bro, it's but we never really had nothing here, you know.
yeah. I mean, that was the biggest thing, man. There was talent galore, dude. If you were to go to a talent show here, you'd be like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Between the singing, singing. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
just no, you know what I'm saying, basic.
Bro,
I'm talking about
Courtney
singing.
Walker. You remember Courtney Walker?
Yeah,
Bro. Man, there's so many people that I know who could sing. And I mean like sing, and I'd be like, bro, this is stupid.
yeah. Don't make no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. Well, you know,
It is what it is.
it is what it is, bro. Hey man, so we were about to get up on out of here, man. But bro, it was good for our first session back, man. It's good for having everybody back. I hope everybody actually gets a chance to poke in, and we're gonna try to keep this chopping it up, moving. Try to keep recording and putting stuff out there for everybody, man. Because we have things to say. Just now, our schedule actually will allow us to continue to, you know what I'm saying, put stuff out there, man, and keep chopping it up, bro.
All right, man. Well, I definitely appreciate it, man. Definitely want to get back to it. Man, I had like my thought was like crazy that we just talked about the music though, man. Like I did music for so long, and then once I stopped doing music, I was into my photography like a lot. And then like I stopped really doing my photography, and we were doing this podcast, and that was like my outlet. And like, man, if I feel like the last 9 months, 6 months, whatever the time has been, like, bro, I've been just bottled up. Yeah. So definitely appreciate it, enjoy it, and look forward to doing it more often.
All right, cool. Well, everybody follow us. We'll be popping some more episodes out for you. And actually, man, hit us up, man. Let us know if you want to hear something we have to say or a topic you want to actually put in, and we'll try to put it in. You know what I mean? Yes, so, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us up here. We're chopping it up with G and Z. We'll holler at you sooner. Peace.